The following is a special presentation of Raycom Sports, home to regional college football and basketball.
The Georgia Bulldogs are desperately in need of an SEC victory, but they have a tough assignment tonight as they come to Knoxville to meet the Volunteers of Tennessee. From Thompson Bowling Arena in Knoxville, our Raycom All-Tel SEC Game of the Week, matching the Georgia Bulldogs and the Tennessee Volunteers. Hello everyone and welcome to Knoxville. Tom Hammond here for the play-by-play tonight. And by virtue of Jody Meeks' amazing shot as Kentucky beat Florida last night, Tennessee, with a victory on their home court tonight, can move into a four-way tie for first place in the SEC East. Florida, Kentucky, South Carolina, Tennessee all have 3 conference losses, and a victory by Tennessee will put them in a four-way tie for first place. Larry Conley's here for the color commentary. And Larry, this is the second meeting this season between these two teams. They met back in January in Athens, and 86-77 final count for Tennessee, but closer than that.
Yeah, Tom, it was a very close game. In fact, in the second half, it looked like Georgia may really pull it out. But there were 2 players in that game that will be instrumental in the game tonight. One a freshman and one an older guy. And we're going to start with the freshman first, Trey Tompkins. He gets his moniker of Trey because he can shoot the 3. He is 6'9". Other side, Tyler Smith, the third-year player in college, only his second year at Tennessee, averaging 17 points a game. You ask Bruce Pearl about this young man, he says, he is my leader. He has played very well for the Vols this year. They need him to be strong down the stretch.
All right, from Thompson Bowling Arena in Knoxville, the Georgia Bulldogs hoping to break a 10-game losing streak and get their first conference victory, but a lot of incentive for Tennessee. A win creates a four-way tie for first in the SEC East. Opening tip coming up.
The All-Tel SEC Game of the Week is being brought to you by Avalon.
Thompson Bowling Arena, tonight's game on Raycom, brought to you in high definition where available. Take a look at the starting lineups for tonight's game now. For the visiting Georgia Bulldogs, Terrence and pros and Conleys, we call it. A look at some of the key factors in tonight's game.
You are probably thinking I put this together, didn't you? I did not. For Georgia, the Bulldogs have to protect the basketball. They've been guilty of turning the ball over way too frequently this season. For Tennessee, a little bit of a different story. They had to reestablish their rebounding dominance. This is a club that was leading the Southeastern Conference in rebounding for most of the season. They have been out-rebounded in the last 6 games.
So we'll see Bobby Mays back in the lineup. Coach Bruce Pearl telling us he wanted to up the tempo a bit tonight. And the experiment was starting Josh Tabb. He admitted to us that Mays had been better coming off the bench, kind of letting the game come to him. But Tabb had not been very productive, and so Mays, admittedly the better player, gets the call in the starting lineup tonight. Pete Herman is the interim coach of the Georgia Bulldogs. And Bruce Pearl in his 4th season as the head coach of the Tennessee Volunteers.
Nice visit with Bruce again before the game this evening, and just kind of imparting to us all of his knowledge of the conference. And you know what? He really does follow all the teams very closely.
Tennessee with a lead in the series, 88-51. You saw that meeting earlier in Athens. Won by the Vols, 86-77. Rick Hartzell, Bob Donato, and Pat Adams are the officials for tonight's game. 6'11" Albert Jackson jumping against 6'7" Tyler Smith.
Now you would think on the surface that Jackson would get this tip. I got to tell you, Tyler Smith can elevate.
Pretty much a dead heat, and it finally is tapped to Tennessee for the first possession.
It's like the Bulldogs have gone to a 2-3 zone. They're going to match up out of this. They've been playing a lot of zone recently.
J.P. Prince, he's been productive in recent games for the Vols. Intended to entry to Chisholm, deflected out of bounds by...
You know, and the thing about it is that the 2 shots we had of him at the beginning, Tom, really tells you a lot about his game. He's an excellent 3-point shooter, but he really is very strong inside.
Mays, the shot clock at 6. Diagonal pass to Tyler Smith, 2 to shoot. He just throws it up there. Did not hit the rim. That's a shot clock violation on tennis. Pressure from the Volunteers. Again, Coach Pearl said he was going to try to step up the tempo a bit tonight. Here's Dustin Ware, the freshman point guard.
It's probably one of the reasons why he's done it too, because Mays is a little bit more experienced than the junior college player playing against the freshman Ware. Man-to-man defense for the Vols.
Woodbury, collision, offensive foul. Terrence Woodbury has the first foul of the game as Prince takes the charge. We mentioned that Prince had been playing well for Tennessee lately. There's the play. Kind of lowered his shoulder, and Prince accentuated with a convincing flop. Prince averaging 15.5 points, 6.5 assists, and shooting 77% the last 2 games. There's the second Georgia foul.
I think Woodbury might have picked that one up.
It is. That's his second CC at the free throw line.
He's an excellent free throw shooter for a big man.
6'9" Wayne Chisholm knocks down 2, the first 2 points of the game. And Woodbury to the bench with those 2 fouls. 2 quick fouls. And it's Swansea, Zach Swansea, that replaces him. 6'1" sophomore from Dunwoody, Georgia, averaging 5 points a game. So 6'7" Woodbury averaging 14 a game for 6'1" Swansea averaging 5. And there's a takeaway and a collision and a blocking foul on Georgia. Another Bulldog foul, this one on Ware. It's the 3rd already against the Bulldogs.
Well, Bruce Pearl's intention was to turn up the heat on Georgia defensively, and already they've gotten 3 fouls from the Bulldogs and a turnover right there. Tompkins had nowhere to go with that ball.
Prince to inbound it, lobs it into Chisholm. Touch pass and a beauty. It's Smith with a finish from Chisholm. Swansea had to go retrieve it, gives it up to Ware.
I'm not sure the matchup for Prince on Ware. Ware a little bit quicker.
That's a walk, yeah. Corey Butler with a walk and another Georgia turnover. They haven't even had a shot yet.
Watch this excellent pass right here. Wayne Chisholm, just as Tom says, a nice little touch pass off of the fingertips to the ever-waiting Tyler Smith underneath.
Georgia stays in the 2-3. Three-pointer over the zone, no good. Kicks high. Missed by Hobson. Already 3 turnovers for the Dogs. They don't have a field goal attempt and 3 turnovers. Swansea, nowhere to go. Hobson has him.
Jackson trying to get open inside. So is Tompkins.
8 to shoot. Ware's shot high off the glass, no good, but an offensive rebound and a stick back for Georgia's Tompkins. Trey Tompkins' first Georgia field goal.
Boy, he's a nice player, Tom. For a freshman, he's really stepped in. And while there have not been a lot of highlights for the Bulldogs this year, he certainly has been one shining light.
Mays with a long 3. Bobby Mays, his first bucket. It's 7-2 Vols.
That's a good sign for Tennessee if Mays is making threes. Back in the starting lineup tonight.
Yeah, vindicating that decision to start him by making his first shot, a long 3. Butler in traffic draws a Tennessee foul. First volunteer foul of the game. It's on Mays.
What's a nice pass back out again. You know, that's the way you like to see a team pass the basketball. You get it inside, give it back outside. Bobby Mays finishing it up with that tray. Good pass by Chisholm.
Scholarship. Second one a miss. Rebounded by Chisholm and called a timeout. I don't know if he was about to lose his balance and fall out of bounds or what, but timeout is called by the Volunteers. And let's take a look at our Haviland defensive SEC games. At home, Tennessee forcing an average of over 14 turnovers with 8 steals. And forcing the Bulldogs into some early turnovers here.
Tom, one of the things that Tennessee has done well this year, at least until the Auburn game this past weekend, was play well on the road within the conference. They had not lost a game before that 1-point loss. And, you know, they're home. They're tough to play here at home.
Bobby Mays among the assist turnover leaders, specifically number 3 in the league behind Beal and Temple.
Saw the name of Nick Calathis on there. Boy, what a great game he had last night against Kentucky.
That was some game. still can't get over Jody Meek's shot. It was an impossible shot that he made that wound up giving the Wildcats the victory after Calathes missed the free throws. And because of that, Tennessee with a victory can move into a four-way tie with Kentucky, Florida, and South Carolina. Chisholm, that's too easy. Hobson made the entry pass, and nobody gave backside help to Chisholm, who has 4 early points.
Well, Tompkins made a bad move that time. If you're going to defend, you got to defend out to the side or in front. He did neither.
There's a 5-second call and a turnover. Already 4 against the Georgia Bulldogs.
Once again, good feed of the post right there. You can see Tompkins making an effort to try to get around it, but you either front him or you get him to the side on the baseline side, not on the high side. That allows Chisholm just to wheel and go to the basket. And you're right, Tom, no help on the other side.
Tennessee with 3 assists on their 3 field goals. Chisholm made a nice catch in traffic and then shot it right at the crack between the...
Got almost stuck up at where the rim and the glass backboard come together there.
Butler into front court for the Bulldogs.
It's not often you see Swansea and Ware playing together out there because they both play the same position. But you know, in the last game that they played against South Carolina, both of these guys were on the floor a lot at the same time.
Terrence Woodbury picking up 2 fouls in less than 2 minutes and to the Georgia bench. As if the assignment wasn't tough enough already. They put their leading scorer on the bench in early foul trouble. Swansea's pull-up is no good. Vols good block out. Prince calls it down. Prince against Jackson, no good. Jackson made him alter the shot. Tompkins with the outlet. Ware got a screen from Tompkins. And again, Mays got through it both times. Swansea off a curl open, but they missed him. Entry pass. Jackson steps. That's 5 turnovers in 5 minutes for the Bulldogs. Rough start for Georgia as Bruce Pearl and the Vols take on Pete Herman and the Bulldogs. Lots of turnovers and not much else. Active feature of the Alltel Text of War. Which team do you want to win tonight? Georgia or Tennessee? 9-3 as Wayne Chisholm is doing a little shoe changing over there on the sideline, it appears. Georgia only 1 of 3 with 5 turnovers here in the early going. Ouch. Bulldogs trying to break a 10-game losing streak and get their first conference victory overall.
Tough place to try to start to do it.
And tough too when your leading scorer goes to the bench in less than 2 minutes with 2 fouls. Brian Williams on the floor for Tennessee. Brian, the 6'10 sophomore from the Bronx, New York.
Bulldogs have not changed their defense since they started the game. Still that 2-3 zone.
Josh Tabb also makes his first appearance as the three-pointer goes for Tyler Smith, his 5th point.
He's got a complete game, Tom. Does a little bit of everything. He's got the good 3-point shot, the mid-range game. He can put it on the floor and get to the rim. That's just on the offensive end. Can pass and dribble.
Tennessee had the double down of Tompkins, making him give the ball up. Meanwhile, Jackson and Williams.
Tyler Smith, whom we've been watching all season long, and every time you see him play, you know you're looking at a solid performer within this league. I certainly think he can play at the next level. 17 a game, 6 rebounds, almost 4 assists per game. Gives you an idea of how well-rounded he is. That is a strong menu right there.
Nice catch by Jackson in traffic. Goes up with it. Can't score, way off. An offensive rebound and then a jump ball called as Chris Barnes came down with it and then was tied up. Barnes, the 6'8 sophomore from College Park, Georgia. There he is. Possession arrow gives it back to the Bulldogs.
Well, Woodbury gets back in there and they throw the ball away. Another turnover.
Josh Tabb can't score, but cleaned up by Hobson. Thompson. No, by Tatum, Cameron Tatum. The 6'6" redshirt freshman from Lafonia, Georgia. The Georgian.
Swansea just gave way. I mean, instead of trying to block him out to keep him away from putting that back in.
Tatum's first bucket.
Woodbury getting back in there immediately.
Well, you had to, more or less. You know, it's either do or die. And shot blocked by Prince. Couldn't control it out of bounds, though. Woodbury playing with 2 fouls. Had his shot blocked.
Go back and take a look at it again. Here's the steal, and it was a good one. Good pickoff right there by Tatum. He goes up, puts it off the glass, misses. Excuse me, it was Tatum that finished it up. And another good block by J.P. Prince.
This one's going to maybe go down on the other end, though. Woodbury tried to save it off the Tennessee defender. Oh, it's just disgusting for Pete Herman. What can you say? 7 turnovers early for the Bulldogs. They trail 14-3. 5 field goal attempts and 7 turnovers. And an easy bucket for Tyler Smith.
I mean, their defense is so porous. I mean, Pete Herman is going to take a timeout and say, guys, come on. You can't do this.
One thing coaches have said about Georgia in this string of 10 straight losses, that the Bulldogs have not given up. Well, I hate to say it, but early going here in Knoxville, it looks like they have indeed pretty much given up the ship. Champion Apparel showcases the tradition and history of Tennessee athletics, and starting over 40 years ago, Coach Ray Mears exemplified it by wearing an orange blazer in key games. The tradition continues to this day as Bruce Pearl dons the orange blazer for all Kentucky and Vanderbilt games. And that's our champion, How You Play. Coach Pearl will be donning the orange blazer this weekend as the Commodores come to visit Thompson-Boling. His name appears among the winningest active Division I coaches. 17 years as a D1 head coach. Winning percentage of nearly 78%.
Tom, I got to tell you, the guy that, I mean, those are all excellent coaches right there. But Jamie Dixon of Pittsburgh, I think, is one of the really great young coaches in college basketball. In only 6 years, he has put together a terrific record in a league that is very tough to play in.
7 turnovers leading to 11 Tennessee points. 6 different Georgia players have turned it over, so it's a group effort. Swansea baseline drive, stepped out of bounds. Painful.
Not pleasant to watch, and not pleasant for that coach right there. You see him applauding, he said, come on, we can play better.
7 minutes into the game. Big game in Starkville tonight, and a one-point affair between Mississippi State and LSU.
NC State is all over Wake Forest.
Sole possession of first place in the West is up for grabs in Starkville. If LSU can win, if Mississippi State does, they'll be right with the Tigers. Williams against Jackson. Fed it off, no good. Slapped up by Chisholm. Here's Chisholm's follow, no good. And Williams is over the back for the Tennessee foul, his second. So Georgia ball trailing 16-3.
Ware trying to bring it up against Josh Tabb, who's probably their best defensive defender.
Troy Brewer, 6'5" sophomore, Rockville, Maryland, on the floor for Georgia. As Barnes in traffic muscled it home. That was a nice move.
Chris Barnes missed most of last year with a knee injury. Good to see him back playing again. I think he's got some potential. This is a sophomore, 6'8", 240.
Just over 8 minutes to go in the game. Tompkins fouls Chisholm, who takes it to the rim. Tennessee getting on Saturday. Some of us will be back here in Thompson-Boling Arena for Vanderbilt in Tennessee. And others will see Alabama hosting South Carolina.
You're going to spend in Knoxville this week. I'm surprised the Commissioner of Revenue hasn't sent you a tax notice.
Oh, ouch. Don't even mention it. I'll be spending enough money. I'm hanging out with Earl Anderson, so.
Oh, okay. You know, when you talk to Bruce Pearl about Wayne Chisholm, You know, he almost lights up when he talks about this guy. He says he has been the most consistent performer for us all season long. He says this is a guy that, you know, at the beginning of the year, I wasn't sure what I was going to get. He came ready to play, and he has been right there for us in every game.
Second free throw no good, but off Tompkins and out of bounds back to Tennessee. Chisholm with 5 points in the early going. Tyler Smith, the leading Vol scorer, with 7 points on 3 for 3 shooting. Foul as Negadu takes it up. Emmanuel Negadu, the 6'7" freshman from Nigeria.
Not often you find a young man who lived with his father in the Nigerian Army barracks, and he left 4 years ago to come to the United States to go to school and play basketball.
Has U.S. Guardians. Didn't play basketball until he was 15 years old, but has been on the Nigerian junior national team. Went to Brewster Academy in Wolfboro, New Hampshire, and there was the Gatorade Player of the Year, averaging 18 points and 12 boards as a senior. There's the trap in the corner. Bad place to be caught. Got rid of it to Tompkins, and he makes a touch pass. And numbers for Georgia, and an emphatic throw down.
Travis Leslie with a terrific jam.
He's the freshman from Decatur, 6'4", and he emphatically put a exclamation point on the end of that fast break. But then a block shot
from Leslie.
From Leslie again. Leslie giving the Bulldogs a spark. Made a tough pass. Barnes and one.
To allow Barnes to score the basket down there, even though he missed the free throw.
Barnes misses that free throw after the foul by Negadu. And then a Tennessee walking violation, their second turnover. That's the second ball turnover. Bulldogs with 8 as we've documented, but Georgia's in the midst of a bit of a run here at the moment. Leslie pulls up over Chisholm too hard. Slapped around. Prince down court. Prince running out when the ball was on the board.
That's an old pro basketball trick. You know, when the ball goes up, there's usually one guy that takes off. If you don't get back, you're going to get burned.
First basket for JP. Backdoor cut and then taken away from Brewer.
Prince stepped on the sideline.
And Prince steps out of
again. Prince was taking off right there, and the pass, an easy layup for JP Prince. As you indicated earlier, Tom has been playing very well of late. I talked, already had one shoulder operation, said the other one is bothering him now. But he said, you know what? For the year, he's probably in the best health he's been in all season.
Corey Butler. Price threw a bad pass, deflected out of bounds by Negadu.
A little bit of a flurry here by Georgia. At least got him back in the game to make it respectable.
Needs some help. Woodbury lobbed it in. Stolen by Tennessee. Negadu to Prince, who missed it. Tyler Smith, though, with the offensive rebound, and he'll bring it up to set it up on the half court as we approach the midway point of this first half.
Georgia needs to back those two guards back into their free throw line a little bit closer to jam up the inside.
Mays penetrates, dishes. No shot for Hobson. Back to Mays.
A lot of gaps in that zone right now.
9 to shoot. Hobson for 3.
Well, he gets a lot of air under that shot, doesn't he?
You can always tell it's his shot because it does. High in the air, high arching shot, and 7 Volunteer players have now scored. Scotty Hobson, the highly recruited player, freshman from Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Biggest lead for Tennessee after Georgia had a brief flurry. Ware feeds it back outside. Here's Ware for 3. Got it. Georgia's first three-point attempt is good for Dustin Ware.
Nice pass by Corey Butler, too. After Ware had given it to him, he gave it right back.
Hobson can't answer. Chased down by Butler. Entry pass inside. Fumbled around by Barnes and taken away by Tennessee. Another turnover.
Prince doing a good job defensively. Nice pass.
Prince to Smith, who missed the layup. Reverse layup. 11 turnovers now with the Bulldogs. Woodbury for three. Easy rebound, Hobson. Mays for three.
Looks like Tennessee is settling for threes right now. They had a lot of success going inside. They've kind of abandoned what they were doing so well early.
Have the big lead and starting to freelance a little bit. Ware misses that three. Barnes kept it alive for a moment, but here's J.P. Prince. He has Mays on one wing and Hobson on the other. Takes it himself and rebounded by Barnes.
It's about the fourth trip in a row now, Tom, that Tennessee has missed a shot.
That one's good by Woodbury.
Volunteers, J.P. Prince has played very well of late. Player that transferred from the University of Arizona and has come in here. Struggled with some health issues last year, but again, back playing as well as anybody on this Tennessee squad.
But tonight, only 1 of 4 from the field, and all those at close range in the paint.
There's his dad sitting up there. It's kind of hard to pick out, but let's just say on the aisle, hands folded in front of his face right there. That's John Prince. Was an assistant coach in college for many, many years.
.756 remaining in the first half after that Tennessee timeout. Vols have never trailed. Georgia struggling with turnovers here in Knoxville. Three-point shooting, the Bulldogs 2 of 4, Vols 3 of 6. Tennessee has missed their last 4 shots overall.
I think that's what Bruce Pearl was talking to his team about. You know, let's don't freelance out there. Let's get back to what we were doing so well early.
Tyler Smith, his first miss, tapped by Williams, no good. Prince with a follow, no good. Williams again taps, finally chased down by Georgia's Leslie. Price on the low post as they cut around. He made a pass to nowhere. Tab gives it up, and the basket good by Smith. Smith with the basket. Tab with the assist. And Tennessee breaks a 2-minute, 45-second drought. Open shot, Woodbury for three. Front rim. Taken on the fly by Josh Tab. Tab to Prince. Missed it. And an offensive foul on Tab of Tennessee. Text to Warpole, who do you want to see win the game? 75% the Vols, 25% the Dogs. Text your answer, S1 or S2 to 55333.
You do a lot of texting.
Not a lot. It's enough to say I'm capable of it.
That's about all I am, is just capable of it. It is the world of today.
Yes. 10-point Tennessee lead. Georgia with twice as many turnovers as field goals. 12 turnovers. They've hit 6 of 14 from the field. Tennessee's 9 of 23. Tyler Smith with 9 points leading the Vols. 8 assists for the 9 Tennessee field goals. Butler traveled. There's an
Georgia continues to stay in that 2-3 zone. You always look against a zone defense where the openings are, the gaps, the space.
Bernaldo Wooldridge, the 6'8 freshman from Sherman Oaks, California, makes his first appearance in the Tennessee lineup. Tyler Smith missed it.
I think Tompkins might have gotten a piece of that one.
And then Tompkins with the outlet to Swansea. Butler, three-pointer. He's fouled in the act of shooting a three. And that live at the free throw line tonight. All 3 of his points at the stripe. Wooldridge, Chisholm, ball fake. Everybody goes flying by and he lays it in. They just are scoring at will at the rim tonight. when they don't settle for the outside shot, when they run their offense, they've gotten extremely high percentage shots. Chisholm now with 7.
I think that's why Bruce Pearl called that timeout earlier, to instruct his team, nay, to lecture them, get the ball inside.
Swansea cut off. Four to shoot. 1 to shoot. Did not get it away. Shot clock violation. No basket for Tompkins.
Tompkins and Price are not reacting very quickly once they receive the basketball. Tennessee's defense has been outstanding. Once the ball goes inside, you can almost see at least 2 guys swarm the ball. And Georgia's inside people are not reacting very quickly. You've got to be able to either put the ball up on the basket or get it out of there.
14 turnovers with over 5 minutes to go in the first half. Tatum, lob pass, Chisholm right back to him. Tyler Smith, three-pointer, back rim. Taken by Butler. Woodbury, pull-up shot. Chisholm hauls it down for Tennessee.
Georgia got a couple of offensive rebounds early, but they have been shut out for about the last 10 minutes in there.
Another layup. Tab with a pass to Woolridge. And I believe that might be his first field goal in SEC play, the freshman from California. And Georgia takes a timeout with Tennessee leading 29-17 and getting easy shots time after time.
Nice move by Tab here, delivering to Woolridge down inside.
Tennessee with 9 assists on 11 made field goals. This Saturday, hope you'll join us at most of these Raycom All-Tel stations. Some of you will see the battle for the state of Tennessee as Vanderbilt comes into Thompson-Boling.
Hang around the top up there, chasing Florida, Kentucky, South Carolina, and Tennessee. A rather intriguing matchup.
That East battle is going to be interesting down the stretch. Maybe 5 losses will get you the SEC East Championship.
I wonder how long that's been since we've had 5 losses.
Swansea checked by Tab. Left him open. He thought about shooting. He almost had it primed and loaded and ready. Tompkins misses. Collision and out of bounds to Tennessee.
Right here.
And once again, Georgia attempted to get an offensive rebound right there, but they were unsuccessful because there were so many Volunteers around the ball. Tompkins with a shot carrying over the top, and Woodbury just couldn't come up with it. It rolled right off his chest.
Smith short on his shot. On the floor and picked up by Barnes. Swansea trails, launches the 3, no good. Wayne Chisholm, reach-in foul on Butler. No. Not sure what they call. Jump ball. Hell ball they call on that play. Possession arrow, Tennessee when we come back. Closing seconds, Auburn inbounding the ball. Wayne Chisholm goes for the steal and falls down. Auburn gets the ball. They find Barber wide open under the basket. He lays it in. Tennessee gets one final shot from midcourt with time running out. No good. And Auburn has beaten Tennessee 78-77 in Auburn.
Bruce Pearl really struggles down there. That is the 3rd time that they have gone to Auburn and lost down there.
Tyler Smith inbounds to Bobby Mays, and Volunteers walk it up. They've hit 11 of 28. 11 field goals and 6 of 17 shooting for Georgia now. And again, the shots that Tennessee has had are very easy ones. Tyler Smith reverses it, and he has 11, first player in double figures.
Nice assist by Bobby Mays, too.
Careless pass, picked off. 15 turnovers. Chisholm for three. Came out. Barnes with a strong rebound.
Georgia continues to try to look inside, but Tennessee's defense has been awfully good on the interior.
See the shooting. There's a three-point shot down. The first field goal since the 8-minute mark, but no defense as Prince reverses quickly on the other end. He has 4 points.
Tompkins wants to try it again.
Made a three a moment ago.
He's trying to get reverse inside.
Out of bounds. It'll go to Georgia.
I'll tell you, as good as their offense has been tonight, I got to tell you, their defense has been pretty good too. I mean, they really have forced Georgia into a lot of these turnovers. Georgia has been careless with the basketball, but there have been times when Tennessee's defense has been right there.
LSU leading Mississippi State in Starkville at the half as the shot clock expires without Georgia even realizing it. Announcers for this game selected and compensated by Raycom Sports, and use of the broadcast without the express permission of the Southeastern Conference and Raycom Sports is prohibited. Georgia Bulldogs trying to break a 10-game losing streak and get their first conference victory, but hampered by 16 first-half turnovers, while Tennessee looking to bounce back from a loss at Auburn and go into a four-way tie for first place in the East. Wayne Chisholm, an inch from the rim.
You know, I'm watching the Georgia defense out there. They're arguing with each other now, which is not a good sign. You know, if you're going to defend, you got to have help. You want to be arguing with your teammates.
Chisholm has 9 points. That's a walk, not called. Butler missed the shot.
Watch the offense right here. Terrific pass by J.P. Prince again inside. Easy catch by Chisholm, and nobody there for Georgia. I think Woodbury was looking around. He was complaining right there. He says, I got to have some help.
Wayne Chisholm commits his first foul. 1+1 at the Georgia line. Tennessee tonight, Larry, with 13 assists and only 4 turnovers. Repeatedly getting the pass inside, a foot from the rim.
There's quite a change. I mean, you know, last year you and I did so many Tennessee games, and we had a chance to watch some of the best guards in the country. You know, Chris Lofton was out there, Jawan Smith, and this team had to really kind of retool and rethink their offense. And they had Wayne Chisholm, not so much guard-oriented because of the great shooters they had last year. It's been a little bit different story, but this is where they're successful, is when they go inside.
Chisholm from Smith, and Chisholm has 11. Biggest Tennessee lead. That's going to be an offensive foul and another turnover. 17 turnovers now as Ware commits the offensive foul.
Prince got in good position that time. Pete Herman trying to instruct, said, look, I want you to do this. So far, whatever he's doing to try to help them isn't working.
Second foul on Dustin Ware. Final seconds here of the first half. A nightmare first half for the Bulldogs. Chisholm right back to Prince, who is fouled. Will it count? Still waiting for the signal. Yes, they say. It will count. 3-point opportunity.
You know, I'm not sure that Pat Adams or Rick Hartzell really had their mind made up about what this call was going to be. Prince went in there, kind of kissed it off the glass, and it was called a blocking foul, which I think was probably the right call. Notice how far Prince is over on the free throw line. He's over on the right side of the free throw line there instead of being square right in front of it. Shoots it left-handed.
And makes it. 7 points for JP. traffic. Now 10 seconds left. Ware, 5 seconds. Ware fouled. Boy, J.P. Prince with a foul, shooting a 3. His second official a little bit. Why not?
he's got Bob Donato and Pat Adams laughing over there. Well, so far to this point anyway, for Tennessee, it has been a laugher in this first half.
February has been a productive month in the first 4 seasons of Bruce Pearl's regime in Knoxville. And trying to win tonight into a first-place tie in the SEC East with 3 other teams. Third free throw no good with 1 second left. The first half expires. Tyler Smith and Wayne Chisholm, 11 points each. Tennessee with 15 assists in that first half. And painfully, Georgia with 17 turnovers. We'll be back.
Inventor Sports is proud to salute Wayne Chisholm for being named a member of the SEC Community Service Team.
Halftime, Thompson Bowling Arena in Knoxville, and the homestanding Vols leading Georgia 40-23. Well, it was painful at times first half to watch for the Georgia Bulldogs, who had 18 field goal attempts, making 17, or making 7, I should say. 18 field goal attempts, making 7, and they had 17 turnovers, so only 1 more shot than they had turnovers in the first half.
Tom, it was total domination by the Volunteers. I mean, on both ends. Offensively, they were getting the ball inside, and when they were doing that, they were highly successful. And the defense was just creating all kinds of problems for Georgia. But offensively, the passes were coming down inside. The easy baskets, you see Tyler Smith with that one, but they were also burying the threes outside, too, as Bobby Mays got one. Chisholm coming back with another inside play. J.B. Prince with a run out. Volunteers were scoring from just about everywhere on the court.
Well, right now, Tennessee a half game out of first place in the SEC East. The other contenders have tonight off. And here's the way the East standings look. Florida losing at Rupp Arena last night, moving into that tie with Kentucky and South Carolina. And Tennessee, with a victory tonight, will go to 6-3 as well and produce a 4-way tie in the East.
In the Western Division is
with Wayne Chisholm leading the Tennessee attack. They have 11 each. Big lead for the Vols. The listings for the game in your area. And every game becomes a crucial game when it involves one of those SEC leading teams, like South Carolina has to go to Tuscaloosa, and Tennessee will be playing here at home. Looks like they're going to be in a tie as well.
I don't know that if you had asked me this in October, November, what it was going to be like at this date, I don't think I would have said there's a possibility of 4 teams being tied in the East. I don't think that would have happened. Everybody had picked Tennessee to win in the East, but, you know, it's been getting very, very close.
All right, let's take a look at some other scores in college basketball now, starting with Trey Tompkins with a basket for Georgia, but they've been few and far between. 40-23 at halftime. Tennessee leading the Georgia Bulldogs. And Tennessee, of course, taking command of the game from the outset, forcing 17 Georgia turnovers. And Tennessee repeatedly got the ball right at the rim. Some of the easiest shots we've seen all season long.
There was just a few seconds in there when Bruce Pearl called that timeout. He was upset with his club because they were taking too many threes and rushing into their offense. Got them back into doing the things they were doing well early.
What about some first half highlights?
Got a few for you. All right. And we'll start with the Georgia Bulldogs. Travis Less for Tennessee. Bobby Mays got things rolling pretty good right here. He nails the 3. That's good for him. He is not a great three-point shooter. Good pass by Mays outside. Scotty Hobson with his long-range tray. And then once again, the good passing down inside with Wayne Chisholm finishing it off.
And here's a look at our Infinity halftime stats. 39% shooting with the Bulldogs, 47 for Tennessee. The big item there, 17 turnovers by Georgia in the first half, only 4 by Tennessee, as the Vols got 21 of their points off the Georgia turnovers. Points in the paint, too. As we said, Tennessee repeatedly getting the ball at point-blank range, 26 points in the paint, and the Vols with 15 assists on 16 made field goals. That'll make Coach Bruce Pearl happy. 40-23 at halftime, and the second half coming up from Thompson Bowling in Knoxville. Second half with Tennessee leading Georgia 40-23. SEC basketball presented in high definition. We're available by Raycom Sports. Tom Hammond, Larry Conley in Knoxville, Tennessee. The Tennessee Vols led by Chisholm and Smith with 11 points each. Prince had 7. And Georgia did not have a player in double figures. Tompkins and Ware with 5 each, leading the Georgia attack.
Tough first half. You know, in watching Tennessee play, and you commented about this in the first half, the fact that they had 15 assists on 16 baskets, Tom. It is terrific. I mean, anytime you're around 60% and on up on assists, on field goals, you're doing well. They almost had 100%.
Both teams come back with their original starting 5 intact as we start the second half. Woodbury opens the second half with a long-range 2. Terrence Woodbury.
Good start for the Dogs. Get Woodbury, their leading scorer, up and running again. And again, Georgia opens up with a 2-3 zone defense. They'll match up out of this. You'll see some floating around, particularly on that back underneath. Nice pass.
Prince with a throwdown from Chisholm.
You know, if you're going to play a zone defense, you cannot allow that to happen. I mean, that's just too easy.
Chisholm has the same number of assists as his jersey number. 4, for those of you not familiar with the Vols. As we see another Georgia turnover.
Now watch this. See the opening right there, Chisholm? Just a cut to the basket. If you're going to play a zone defense, you've got to be alert enough underneath, and when somebody makes that cut, you've got to be there to stop them.
That time to double down and a reach in by Butler, but a Georgia foul. Number 2 on Butler.
Tom, Georgia's defense is just passive. I mean, the zone defense does not react at all. Anything on the ball movement to cutters, anything, they have got to be able to react.
I mean, you play a zone, don't you, to prevent the
Absolutely.
Sort of at the rim shots that Tennessee repeatedly gets. Tyler Smith with 13. Give it up for the 3-point shot, no good from the corner by Ware. Here's Mays, lob, and a throwdown from Hobson.
Boy, Mays made a nice pass. That was a hard catch by Hobson. He was running on the same side of the floor with Mays, and he caught it coming over his shoulder.
4 assists for Bobby Mays. Open 3. Woodbury can't hit it.
Boy, they're just running out on every shot now.
Spotted, trailing the play. Chisholm missing a 3. Ware for 3. Went halfway down and rimmed out.
It's a 3-fest right now.
Mays back out to Prince. Tyler Smith. Nope. Into Chisholm. Mays missed the 3. Georgia has it. Is it Mays or Smith?
Tyler Smith took the shot.
Yeah. Jackson. Prince the rebound.
Got a lid on both baskets right now.
J.P. Prince with half dozen rebounds tonight. Tyler Smith. Floater won't go. Prince cleans it up. J.P. Prince. Now with 11 points and 7 boards.
Well, Tennessee is having their way underneath the glass on both ends.
Butler into Jackson. Nice shot as he put it over Wayne Chisholm for his first bucket.
That was a nice turn on the baseline there by Albert Jackson. We have wholesale substitutions getting ready to come in over there.
8 players, 4 on each side, ready to come in. clock at 10. Mays, 4-3. 4 minutes into the second half, and Tennessee blowing it open. Mays all over Ware. A little too.
Tennessee getting everything done down on the inside. Bobby Mays with a nice lob to Scotty Hobson. Then the run out on the other end. Same thing. Mays with a terrific pass. Watch Hobson's finish, but then that's what Tennessee's been doing to Georgia all night long.
Some hard-working ball boys here tonight, I'm telling you.
You know, they're not very enthusiastic about their job tonight.
51-27. It has been kind of a yarner, as Georgia has just struggled from the outset. Struggling to keep possession of the basketball and struggling to stop Tennessee from high percentage shots. Price missing a three. Out of bounds off Georgia. It'll go to the Volunteers.
But that was a pretty good effort on the offensive rebounding end by Chris Barnes. At least they got somebody in there battling Tennessee on the glass that time.
Ricky McPhee, 6'1" junior from Lawrenceville, Georgia, his first appearance for the Dogs, as they get a turnover from the Volunteers. That's 5 committed by Tennessee. Swansea too hard off the glass. Williams made him change the shot. There's Barnes battling inside again. Kept it alive. And then a reach-in foul as Price cradled it. It's on lob it into Price, and Georgia will set it up. Swansea. Five minutes into the second half. Butler for three. Williams one-hands the rebound and a quick outlet. Nicely done. 2-on-2. Tab behind the back. That might make Bruce Pearl go to the bench as Georgia comes the other way. 6 turnovers now by the Volunteers as Tab went behind the back end traffic. See the three-point shooting. Price traveled. And 19 Georgia turnovers.
Tom, that's a young man right there, Jeremy Price, who had such an outstanding year last year as a freshman. He made the all-freshman team. He just has not been able to convert that talent this year into having a good season. Not sure what the problem is, but he just has not been the same type of player as he was last season.
Smith back outside. Tab finds Tatum.
3 straight turnovers.
And deflected by Price. Georgia has it. Swansea to Price and one. Fouled by Tab, I believe. Still has it, but an offensive rebound by Leslie. He launches, no good. Back rim on the floor. McPhee has it. Leslie came up short. Woolridge clears.
I'll tell you one thing, when Leslie's in there, things happen. Only played 4 minutes in that first half, but probably the best 4 minutes of any player they had.
Tatum.
Nice pass.
Williams missed it. Another ball fake and got the foul. Made a ball fake to get free and then missed it. Got his own rebound. Ball fake again results in a Barnes foul.
Watch Tatum right there. Boy, that was a terrific look and pass, and Brian Williams with the catch. Couldn't finish there and then drew the foul the second time he went up.
Player to score.
Jackson enters for Georgia. Kennington for Tennessee.
Quinn Cannington makes his first appearance in the Tennessee lineup, a junior from Knoxville. Chisholm nearly got it away from Barnes. McPhee to Jackson. Double teamed by Tennessee. That's a travel. And 20 turnovers now
calls traveling possession to Tennessee.
If you're wondering, Georgia's high for the year is 27 turnovers against Illinois. And already above their season average. And counting. Carrington, a three-pointer is good. How about that? Little used and just off the bench, Quinn Cannington with a three.
That got all the Tennessee players up off the bench. They're all applauding him.
Josh Tabb into the front row. Out of bounds to Georgia.
Watch again. Cannington just outside the line. I love the way the players respond when one of their guys doesn't get a chance to play much scores. That's terrific. You know, there's so many practice players around the country that never get a chance to see the light of day on the floor. And they're so valuable, Tom. I mean, these are guys that have no scholarships. They come out and they practice every day. They're the scout team. They're the guys that put up the offenses and defenses of the opponents. And they should get some credit. And right now, maybe he's going to give them some by making some baskets.
Swansea missed. Tabb misses. Tapped in by Williams.
That's a pretty good follow there by Brian Williams.
Big man hustling down the court. Got the tap. Jackson feeds it inside to Barnes.
Hey, that's a pretty good catch by Barnes. That ball was a little bit behind him, and he had to pull it forward. Jackson turned and looked at him, and he threw it right over his right shoulder, and he pulled it in, got the basket.
Barnes must have strong hands. We've seen him catch the ball in traffic several times tonight. 6 points for him. Chisholm twice missed it and then tapped it on the third time. The charm for Wayne Chisholm. 13 points.
It's not often we see Williams and Chisholm out there playing together.
Georgia takes a timeout with 11:29 left. And Barnes inside makes a nice catch and gets the jam.
Hey, Josh.
More results. Tennessee had a bigger margin initially, but I told you there were some hidden agendas there from the South Carolina, Kentucky, and Florida fans. They'd like to see Georgia win, but it's wishful thinking, of course. Thanks for participating in our All-Tel Text of War. Tennessee Vols with a 30-point lead. It's one of those nights where you pose for pictures as your attention might stray from the game. I don't mean you, Larry.
No. How about Smokey there with three guys with orange hair?
Tennessee has had 17 more shots than have the Bulldogs, who have committed 20 turnovers with still 11 plus left. And that's turnover number 21. Too much dribbling by Zach Swansea. Painful night for Pete Herman and the Bulldogs. And this Saturday, check your local listings for the game you'll see on our Raycom All-Tel SEC games. Split contest, you'll either see Carolina at Alabama or Vanderbilt at Tennessee. It starts at 3 Eastern, 2 Central Time. Most of these stations on Saturday. Well, 30-point lead for Bruce Pearl and the Vols, so we're going to have a full-weight tie in the SEC East. And Larry, as we check some other scores here, Auburn and Arkansas, close game, and wow, that is too in Starkville. That's for LSU and Mississippi State. LSU, if they win, sole possession of first place. Tied with Mississippi State if the Bulldogs win. So the East and West, the Chisholm's three-pointers and air ball. Most of the people around college basketball think the SEC is down, and we probably would agree with that. Very young league, but certainly makes for some interesting races as Chisholm had it come out of his hand as he took it up. Then Georgia loses it out of bounds.
Tom, there are isolated situations around the country that the SEC has done very well in. I think probably the biggest one as we watched Chisholm lose this ball was the fact that Arkansas went out and beat Texas and Oklahoma again on their home court, but still It's an Arkansas team that can't get out of the cellar in the Western Division. I mean, everybody's been beating up on them, and yet they beat 2 ranked clubs at the time they played them.
Prince misses a scoop. Leslie can't hit it. Prince, another rebound. He's doing a good job on the boards tonight. That's 9 rebounds. Mays, a quick crossover. The shot, though, wild, and Leslie has it the other way.
Maybe even to follow up on that a little bit, you know, anytime you've got a league that's as balanced as this conference is, it is very tough, as we watch Leslie jam one through. Very tough to pick a club out because you can go in and lose a game at any one of the sites in the Southeastern Conference.
Well, let's think about the East now. 4-way tie. Does the remaining schedule favor anybody?
You know, I looked at it a little bit, and I thought South Carolina may have had the best schedule going down toward the end.
Chisholm missed another one at the basket, and then Leslie can't catch it. Turnover, Georgia. And we remind you to get the lowdown on all those races, East and West, which are very
those wonderful ability to block shots.
Hobson. He has 6 points. In the East, I guess South Carolina has to be the big surprise under first-year coach Darren Horn.
I think everybody pretty much expected Florida and Tennessee to play the way they have played, and they have. I think maybe the team that maybe no one had any clue as to what they were going to do was Kentucky. I mean, they had Meeks and Patterson coming back, but they weren't sure about the new players that were coming in. Kentucky has been up and down all season long. I thought a very soft schedule in November and December. Although they beat a West Virginia team that seems to be competing very well in the Big East right now, but you know, this is a basketball
signature win, right?
Yeah, it really is. But it's
Tyler Smith for 3. Sorry, Larry.
That's all right. I was just going to say it's also a club that can rise up and play as they did last night against Florida.
It's interesting that Kentucky won their first 5. At one time, the only undefeated team in the SEC, and then fell on hard time. Auburn up 4 now at Arkansas, and still a 1-point game. LSU by 1. 7 minutes left in Starkville. North Carolina and Duke, a 1-point game.
Hop. That was a breaking pitch he just threw. So.
Lost speed action. 8 minutes left in the game. And the Georgia Bulldogs, as Woodbury hit his last one, misses that one. Batted around, out of bounds to Georgia.
Tom, an article in
I was going to
go ahead.
I was going to ask you, though, where does Georgia go from here now?
Well, that's a good question. I was getting ready to tell you that there was an article in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution this morning that I had a chance to read before I came up here. And I'll tell you about it when we come back.
Okay, we'll take a break, and Larry will report on that when we come back with 7:52 left.
Getting ready to tell you just before we went to break right there, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution reported today that the University of Georgia, Damon Evans, has hired a headhunting company to go searching for a new coach. They're going to pay him a $75,000 fee plus expenses, and it will be their responsibility to go out and begin the interviewing process to put someone on that Georgia bench over there. Pete Herman, the interim coach right now, you saw on the screen right there. You know, one of the things that, and you and I have talked about this off camera, but you and I have been intimately involved in professional and college sports for a number of years. In the professional ranks, it's not unusual to see a coach fired during the year. You know, in November and December, the NBA had 6 coaches fired.
Right.
But in the college ranks, it has always been a tradition to allow the coach to finish out his term during the season. And then if there's going to be a change, to make the change at the end of the season. I'm wondering.
Part of it is due to the fact that it's such a high-stakes game these days with millions upon millions of dollars involved as Tyler Smith gets his 15th point. He is the game's leading scorer.
Well, and part of it, I mean, I don't begrudge any of these coaches making what they make. I think they do a terrific job, and they are entitled to whatever they can get. But I will tell you that when you start to get that kind of money, there's a lot of expectations that go with that kind of salary.
What about the Georgia players? What's left for them?
Well, I think they've got some key players. They've got some talent on this squad. The question becomes is after the head coach comes in, whoever it's going to be, they're going to have to look around, that coach is and his staff, and decide which guys they're going to keep and which guys they're going to let go. And, you know, that's one of the things that as coaches watch tapes from a team that they're getting ready to take over, they've got to make those decisions obviously prior to practice beginning.
And they're sure to notice somebody that's packing it in, right?
Absolutely. And I do think there is some talent on this squad. I mean, they lose Terrence Woodbury and Corey Butler, who are their only 2 seniors on this squad at Georgia.
Hobson. That's 5 in a row for Scotty Hobson. He has 12 in the game. Stepped out of bounds.
How many times have we seen that this year? I mean, guys that just step out of bounds. I mean, if you're close to the sideline, you got to know where you are. There's Hobson's 3-pointer right there. Nice catch, nice finish. Shoulders and feet all squared up and a good release. Maybe a modern day record right now as far as loss by points. Volunteers shooting it pretty well, 6 of 15.
Williams couldn't make the catch. Mays pass led him out of bounds, led the ball out of bounds. 9 turnovers by Tennessee. But they do have 22 assists tonight. Tennessee will enter the game against Vanderbilt on Saturday in a 4-way tie for first place with Florida, Kentucky, and South Carolina. McPhee's 3-pointer rims out. Hobson open again, a 3-pointer. This one no good though.
You know, that group that you just mentioned with those 4 teams that are going to be tied in the East. As I said earlier, everybody expected Tennessee to win the East. I think maybe the South Carolina situation is what has become a real surprise to everybody. Boy, it's a good catch by Brian Williams.
Well, Coach Bruce Pearl was talking about having good guards, and that's one thing South Carolina does have. And hats off to Darren Horn, who's done a terrific job in the running for Coach of the Year with Trent Johnson of LSU, I would say. There's a 3-pointer knocked down by Tompkins. He has 8.
How about 2 first-year coaches stepping in and taking over the reins of their 2 clubs and doing what they have done this year?
Brian Williams with a soft touch on the jump hook. Gets his 8th point. All 8 in the second half.
Oh, Ware cannot shake Mays. Mays is awfully good defensively.
Leslie.
Prince kind of waved at him.
It's that stage of the game where you merely wave. I kind of waved at you a couple times, but you didn't.
Don't pay any attention. Yeah, I know.
Mays with a lob. Williams the finish. Mays the assist, and Williams has his 10th point. Six assists for Mays. Here's Albert Jackson muscling it up and in over Brian Williams.
Jackson's had a couple of good moves down on that baseline there, one on either side of the free throw lane.
Fans applauding 5 new volunteer players set to come in. At the next dead ball, Chisholm, no good. Tompkins, nice ball fake. Pull up from 15. Good play by Trey Tompkins.
It's one of those things he can do. I talked about his ability to shoot the 3-point shot. He's very good with his mid-range game, too.
He's had 3 double-doubles in this his freshman season, including 22 points, 14 rebounds at Alabama. He's the first Georgia player in double figures with 10 points now, Tompkins. Tennessee called timeout to get their 5 subs on the floor. And Bruce Pearl says we don't need the timeout. We're just going to go ahead and play. See, Cannington is in. Ryan Childress is on the floor. Childress, the 6'9" senior from Cincinnati. Stephen Pearl, Bruce's son, is out there. Tab is out there. And Tanner Wild. Wild, ball fake. Could have taken the shot and passed it up. Pearl will take it short. Another turnover. McPhee's pass off the mark, and that's 25. That's too short than their season's high, which occurred against Illinois. We'll take a break and be back after this from your local SEC station. Try Sonic's new everyday value menu. It's the best way to satisfy your Sonic cravings without breaking the bank. It delivers the great variety you'd expect, and all for only $1 each. Try the Junior Deluxe Burger, Chicken Strip Sandwich, Junior Breakfast Burrito, and many other items, all for $1 each, all day, every day. It's not just good, it's Sonic good. Now our Red Lobster, nothing but net shot of the game.
Bobby Mays with a terrific lob right here. On the other end, Scotty Hobson to finish it off. Nice catch. Always tough to know where the basket is when you're getting a lob like that, particularly when the ball's on the same side as you are.
That's the Red Lobster, nothing but net shot of the game. 2:09 left. Tennessee about to go 6-3 in SEC play. They've gotten their rebounding mojo back tonight, too, after struggling on the boards in recent games. Childress missing.
It's good to see Ryan Childress back playing again. He played a lot on this club. Injured his kneecap, dislocated it in operation in June. And I was talking to him a little bit before the game today. He's a fine young man.
Slavaric breaking a 3. Childress the rebound. Well, the Volunteers will get geared up for that big game against in-state rival Vandy on Saturday. You'll see it on some of these stations. And South Carolina, involved in that 4-way tie in the East, will be at Alabama. We invite you to check your local listings to see which game you'll be getting. As Tanner Wild gets the three-pointer down. Update on the Auburn-Arkansas and tie game with 2:01 left in Starkville. Duke pulling away a bit from North Carolina. Here the issue was never in doubt. Tennessee jumped on Georgia early. The Bulldogs plagued by turnovers and poor defense. 25 turnovers in the game for the Bulldogs.
Go back and take Wild right here, coming off of the screen and hitting the bottom of the net. Always nice, again, to see those guys come off of the bench who get very little playing time during the year to do something like that. And the starters are always right there to cheer them on.
Jackson, nice shot.
He's made a hook shot from all 3 spots underneath there.
Albert Jackson. Here's Gilbert missing a 3. Got his own rebound. Gave it to Childress, who is fouled as he takes it to the rim by Jackson. So here's Ryan Childress, who we mentioned. The only senior really on this Tennessee team, bouncing in the free throw. And they will entertain Vanderbilt Saturday. Check your local listings. Ole Miss. Then they'll travel to Rupp Arena. Kentucky, of course, won here at Thompson Bowling.
Tom, they've still got to go to Florida and South Carolina, too.
So a tough remaining schedule for the Volunteers. But for now, they will be in first place in a four-way deadlock in the SEC East. They got 5 players in double figures, led by Tyler Smith with 15, Wayne Chisholm with 13, and Scotty Hobson with 12. Tennessee with 25 assists and just 9 turnovers. Georgia committing 25 turnovers tonight. Final score is 79-48 as Tennessee 6-3 in the SEC East and now tied with Florida, Kentucky, and South Carolina for first place. Tom Hammond for Larry Conley saying so long from Knoxville. You've been watching Raycom SEC Basketball.